Hello, welcome to episode 2.
Here's our blanket, excellent.
Asymmetrical twin. Dropping and sinking.
Notice how
So just notice. Joining us for the second episode of next week. Namaste. Hello and welcome to episode 22 of Namaste Yoga. I'm your host, Melissa West, and I'm here with my friends today, Catherine and Carol, and you can see they're already set up with their legs up the wall. So the easiest, you know what, I think it's cute that they got into it before the camera came on, because it's always a little bit of a, I don't know. It doesn't usually tend to go smoothly. So I think they wanted me to demonstrate how to get the legs up. So we're going to, the easiest way to do it is to sit on the edge of your mat and put your hip right against the wall. And then you can swing your legs around and up. And if you do that, then you'll be nice and tight into the wall. So that's how we're starting today. And you'll probably want to have a block and a strap ready to go to for today's practice. Today's practice, we're going to be doing a class for the immune system. I know last week I was suffering with a bit of a sore throat, and it just got me thinking that, it's winter, and I should probably do at least one class for the immune system. So in today's practice, we're going to focus right in on the lymphatic system and the thymus gland, which is a part of the lymphatic system. And what you'll probably find is the poses that I've chosen to do today are pretty much poses that you're familiar with already. It's just that now you'll see how they help the immune system. Okay, so I'm hoping you're settled in with your legs up the wall now. We're going to start that way. So just allow yourself to settle in a little bit more. And bring your awareness to your breathing. Following the breath as it moves in and out of the body. I want you to pay particular attention to breath movement around the heart center. So tuning into the heart center, feeling the expansiveness of breath around the heart. And that can be a very literal feeling of breath movement as the lungs fill with air. It hugs into the heart, the inside, the inner layer of the lungs hug into the heart. So just become aware of the movement in the body around the heart center as the breath comes in and as the breath leaves the body. And then see if you can follow that breath movement outward from the heart into the armpits, into the shoulders and armpits. So in the armpits you have lymph nodes in there, and we'll just think about breathing into those lymph nodes in the armpit. And then allow the breath to settle a little deeper into the belly. And see if, as the breath deepens and settles deeper into the body, if you can even feel breath movement right into the pelvis. Maybe even considering breathing right into the groin where there are more lymph nodes. Then become aware of your body. Start to shift the focus to the sensations in the body. So I find when I put my legs up the wall, there's a very different relationship to experiencing my body in a guided relaxation. One, because the legs are inverted, and two, because there's sort of this really intense sensation of the torso on the ground that I don't usually tune into as much when the legs are long. So just notice what that feels like to have the legs inverted and to feel the full torso on the ground, the pelvis, the rib cage, the shoulders, the head. Just noticing what it feels like to start in this shape today. So starting in an inverted position is so good for the immune system. Lymph fluid actually flows upward against gravity in the body. However, unlike the circulatory system where the heart is its pump, the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump. And so when we go upside down, it really helps the lymph to travel through the body more. And maybe tuning into life circumstances that you bring with you to the mat today. You know, what are your energy levels like today? What's going on in your life right now? Do you have the time to look after yourself for self-care so that you do stay well and healthy? You know, are there things going on in your life that prevent you from living the healthiest lifestyle that you could right now at this time? And then become aware of the kind of thought reactions to that question, because that could be a probing question. That could be a question that might hit a few buttons. It might start to bring up that inner critic or judger. So just notice what thoughts come up in response to that. Like, you know, oh yeah, I'm good. Or do you start going into critique where you're like, oh, I should do this better, I do that better. And, oh, you know, just notice the thoughts that come up in response to thinking about your overall immune system and how your lifestyle supports that or doesn't. And then also the emotions that are attached to those. And then when you bring that awareness to the wholeness happening, the wholeness of the body, the breath, your thoughts, your emotions, your immune system, your life, and the interconnection between all those things. So yoga means union, and as we practice yoga, we become more and more aware of the interconnection of all things. And so there's a wholeness happening right now with all those things. And when you bring your awareness to that, take a moment now to set an intention for your practice of how this next hour can best serve you in your life right now. And it may be something directly to do with the immune system, but it may be something really specific and unique to you today. And then when you're ready, just taking a little deeper breath. And I'm going to get you to take your arms overhead with the legs up the wall. So you're getting a nice stretch through the armpits, through the lymph nodes in the armpits there. Great. And legs up the wall is such a great pose. I gotta tell you, when I'm feeling down and out, like I might be coming down with something or I'm kind of fighting something, you know, this is it for me. I'll spend 20 minutes of my practice doing this because it's just so good for the immune system. The blood starts to pool in the groin area where there's the lymphatic system, where there's a big area of lymph nodes there. You know, it's just such a great pose to boost your immune system and to boost your overall energy levels. So, you know, when you start to feel like you're getting sick, I know I feel like I tend to drag my butt, and this is just such a great pose to really nurture and care for yourself when you're feeling a little down. Okay, So we're gonna come out of this, bending the knees and rolling to the side. And you guys can bring your mats back, and we're going to start on your backs. We're gonna do bridge pose with some thymus tapping to help stimulate that thymus gland. So I'll let those girls get set up. And you're just gonna have your feet in line with your sit bones and parallel. You're gonna inhale here, we'll exhale, we'll press down through the feet until the pelvis lifts off the ground, and then you're going to do a little bit of tapping on the breastbone there where the thymus sits. You're good. Yeah, head that way, looks good. Yeah, great. This is also really great for the thyroid. I know a lot of women have, actually a lot of people, I don't think it's specific to women, but a lot of people have issues with the thyroid, this, or like an underactive thyroid, so this helps to stimulate that as well. Really great pose. Okay. And then as a counter pose, I forgot to tell you girls this, but we're going to do happy baby. So you could do either knees to chest, or you can hold on to the outside edges of the feet and draw the knees towards the shoulders. I chose this one because I think it just gets into the groin so nice, which is great for that immune system. Okay, and then we'll release that, and I'll get you to either rock yourself up or roll to your side, and we're going to start to come into pigeon pose. So we're going to start it from all fours today, and you're going to bring the right leg through, and you're going to bring the right heel over to the left hip bone, and then we're gonna fold forward over that right leg here. Good, good, Catherine. Why don't you move on to your mat, hun? Okay. I know, you're good. What a good girl you are.
Go the same direction or not? Yeah.
Sure.
Whatever.
You're good. Okay, right leg through. Yeah. And you're going to bring your right heel over to your left hip bone. Yep, so bring it over a bit. Just a foot. Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
Okay.
Yep. And then square off the hips, and you're going to fold forward. Yeah, so say hello to your hips, to your tight right hip bone. Okay. Good. So this is a pretty intense pose. Pigeon. Really good one for the hips. How's that feel?
That's it.
Yeah. Great. Okay, so I chose that one because, well, for one, if you've been doing Namaste Yoga with us for a while, you notice that I haven't done a hip opener class in, I don't know, I may not have even done a hip opener class. But this gets into the hips and therefore into the groin, and I think it's a great way to get into the lymphatic system. So what we're going to do is tuck the tail under and come upright. So we're doing the back bending version of pigeon, yeah. And really dropping the tail and opening the heart here. Great. And so here you're probably starting to feel, you're still getting a stretch through the right hip, maybe a little bit of a stretch through the left hip. And then you're starting to open up the heart center, which is great for that thymus gland. Okay, and so just when you thought we couldn't go any further, I'm going to give a couple of options here. So the first option is to tuck the left toes under at the back and reach back through the left heel. So the left knee lifts off the ground. Yeah, that's a nice option. Big stretch for the front left hip. Catherine's going to be cleaning my teeth later, and now I'm getting worried that if I'm hurting her too much, there's going to be payback in the dental chair. Okay, you can modify, hun. Good idea. Okay, so that's the first option. The other option is going to be to bend the back knee and hold on to the left heel. And I find my knee grinds if I roll over it like that. So I roll out and then roll back in. And then you get a nice opening through the chest as well. And this is where you can start to sing opera no problem. Which would probably be really good too, because that would stimulate the glands in the throat for the immune system. Okay, I think that's enough of that. We'll release, and we've got two sides. So we'll come on out, back, we'll come just onto all fours. Oh boy. And we'll bring the left leg through. Bring the left heel across to the right hip. Reach the right leg back and long, and you're gonna fold forward here. Good. Great, great, great. So this pose is, and I'm not facing the camera, this pose is quite challenging for the hips. If we could have a couple of blankets, that would be good, and then I can show how to fill space. Okay, so it's good, you can see here how there's space, like how Carol has space here. It's always good to fill the space. And if you have a bolster at home, a bolster is great. Like for Carol and for Catherine, it would be great just to stick a bolster underneath them. And so if that's it for you, that would be ideal. The other thing is that the most challenging thing in this pose tends to be keeping the hips level. Thank you. Great. So here's what I mean by filling the space. You can just take a little blanket in there and then see how you can just rest. And that's great, right? Because we're trying to lengthen the muscles. If the muscles can rest while we're stretching them, then they're probably more likely to let go than if they're fighting the whole time. Okay. So the second piece of this is to tuck the back right toes under. Oh, no, we're going to come upright. All right. Yeah. So the back bending version to open up the heart center. Good. And then the next piece was the toes under, reaching back through the heel. Or you can do the leg up. So you can do both, though. Either's fine. This is a modification, so I'll demonstrate the modification. And Carol will show the king pigeon version. Okay. So we're going to release that. And how about we step back into downward facing dog? That should feel really good. It's a nice down dog. And actually down dog is a great pose for the immune system. You're inverted here. It's great for the flow of lymph. There's a pretty great opening through the armpits, which is great for those lymph nodes in the armpits. It's a really quite a good pose for the immune system. Okay, so we're going to come down from down dog, and we're going to do puppy, which is like, it's sometimes called little dog too. So it's a pose that is a smaller version of down dog. So you'll probably have to come sort of towards the back of your mat. You're going to take your hands forward, and you're going to lift the sit bones up towards the ceiling, open the heart towards the ground. So it's a back bend even though you're folding forward, and you're going to rest on your forehead until your nose gets too squished. then you come up. This is not a good mic pose. You come up on your chin if that happens. But not until it happens. Great. Awesome. So good. So this is a great pose. Like, Catherine, this is a great pose for you, for your lungs, and for your respiratory system. Yeah. So great for it. And yeah, that's really nice. What I like that I see what that Carol's doing is that she's really reaching her fingers forward and her arms forward, and that's exactly the kind of energy that you want in this pose. How do you like this pose, Carol? Yeah. Even if this was your practice, what a great pose. Yeah. All right, so you're going to come, this is kind of a tricky pose to get out of. You rest on your forehead, you bring your hands back, and then come up. It's a small shape, but it's a pretty deep pose. Yeah. Okay, we're going to do some down dog with some hip openers now. So we'll come with the hands underneath the shoulders, tucking the toes under, breathe in. We're going to breathe out and come into down dog again. And from here, we're going to do a 3-prong down dog. So you're going to take your left leg up, and then we're going to open up that left leg. Yeah, great. Yeah, nice hip opener here, really good. And breathing. And a nice modification for that, because I know that kind of level of weight bearing is not going to be for everybody. Take a break when you need to. Yeah, socks off is probably a good idea. Would be to use the wall. Okay? That would be a nice modification. Okay, so coming down, resting between sides. Okay, and we'll do the other side. So we'll come up, breathe in, tuck the toes under, breathe out, down dog. And we're gonna take the right leg up, open that right hip. Great. Okay, and come back center. All right, from down dog, we're gonna come into a lunge. So if you wanna just take that right leg through into lunge, and maybe we'll just settle in a bit here by inhaling, rocking back a bit, and exhaling and rocking forward. So Catherine, if you take your front leg forward a little bit more. Yeah, like a whole foot length more. Yeah, and then lean forward more. Yeah, so you're feeling the stretch here. Great. Okay, so then here's where you need to put your listening ears on. You're gonna put your hands on the inside of the right foot. And you're gonna walk your hands over towards the left knee. Now, you don't want that knee to torque, so you have to move it a bit. You're gonna pick up the left knee and come onto the inside edge of the left foot. And then you're going to sink the right pelvis towards the right heel. Yeah, and then you'll say hello to your groin muscles. Which I haven't met a single person whose groin muscles aren't tight. Have you? Yeah. I don't know anybody. Yeah, yours are, our cameraman was putting up his hand. No, yours are tight too. All right, come back center. All right, and then we're actually gonna turn ourselves around a bit so that people at home can see us better. So just let's turn around and we'll walk the left leg through now. Thank you. Left leg through. Okay, so we just did a little inhale, rock back, and exhale, rock forward. Just easing into that. Okay, and then take the hands to the inside of the left foot. And you're going to walk your hands over to your right knee. Pick up the right knee and come onto the inside edge of it. And then you're going to squat towards the left heel. Okay, and then we'll come back center. All right, and let's step into down dog. Downward facing dog. Okay, and then let's walk our feet into our hands. And we'll come up to standing. All right, great. Okay, so here's a space where you're gonna need some straps. We're gonna do cow's face arms. So you're going to take your arms and, can we mirror them? Okay, so I'm gonna call the right arm your left arm, right? Okay, so we're gonna take our right arm and internally rotate it and bring it up the back. And then we're going to take our left arm up and over, and maybe the two meet at the back. And if they don't, it's totally okay. That's why we have straps. So you could hold on with the strap instead. Okay, great. So I chose this one because it stretches out through the armpits quite nicely, gets into those lymph nodes in the armpits. And we're doing it standing because it's quite honestly a lot easier standing than it is sitting, and then we'll bring it in again later sitting. Okay, so let's release that. Okay, and then we'll do the other side. So let's take the left arm, internally rotate it, bring it up the back. This side tends to be easier for people. And then the right arm comes up and over. Okay, so, you know, the two sides are going to be really different, probably. And if you need the strap, you can use the strap. Okay, and then we'll release that. Okay, so release, hang on to the strap because we're going to do it again. You're going to take the hands, we're going to interlace the fingers behind the back, like this. And then I'm going to get you to roll the shoulders broad and wide. And we'll inhale here, and then we're going to exhale and lift and open the chest. So great for opening the thymus gland, great for in the lymph nodes right here in the armpits. So great for a couple of reasons. And just careful, especially a lot of women have this tendency, myself included, which is to do a big tail lift here. So keep the tail tucked under, and you probably just noticed as soon as I did that, tail tucks under, and look how much more the back bend just naturally comes. The more rooted you are. Okay, so we'll release that. Okay, and then we're going to try the cow's face arms again. So you might want to just shake it out a little bit. And then we're going to take that right arm again, internally rotate it, bring the right arm up the back. And then we'll bring the left arm up and over to meet it. And you'll probably notice a fairly significant difference here. Different? Yeah. Yeah, right? See? So great. Yoga works, right? How many, so much, especially for people who have been practicing for longer. I know, and I do this too. I go through periods where I think, oh my gosh, I've been doing yoga so long and this isn't happening and that isn't happening. And then, but when we really look at it, right, one chest opener and now I can grab all my fingers on cow's face, right? So it is working. Things are happening, right? And we can't always see what's happening either. Changes are definitely taking place on the inside of the body. Okay, let's release that. And then let's do the other side. So internally rotate the left arm, bringing the left arm up the back. And then bringing the right arm up and over and using that strap. Strap if you need, or grabbing the hands. Okay, so let's release that. Good, and you can probably place the strap down for now. Okay, what we're gonna do now is a triangle pose. We're gonna come into it maybe a little differently than you're used to coming into it. We're gonna do a long stance triangle pose. So if you wanna come and stand at the front of your mat and have your blocks close by at your feet in case you need them, if you need them. And you know what? There was a long time where I did triangle pose with my coffee table or a chair. It's, so whatever props you need for triangle pose. Okay, so let's just take a deep breath in. We're gonna reach up and we're gonna exhale, hinge from the hips forward, coming into a nice standing forward fold. And then what we're gonna do is take a big giant step back with the right foot. Okay, so the right foot's going to be on an angle. The left heel is going to line up with the arch of the back right foot. Okay, you've got your block here. You're going to start to drop through the left sit bone and open the right hip. Okay, and then the right arm is going to float up. And you can use the block here if you need it. Great, so both legs are straight. Yeah, great. And if you turn these toes in a bit, that'll help you too. Great. Good. And then let's see how much we can access this pose by, opening the heart. So I find everybody tries to get into this pose through the arm. That's messing with your balance, but yeah. Yeah, so we tend to overdo it with the arm in this pose. Right? Always, yeah. Working with the wall in this pose is great because then you feel where the arm needs to go to with the wall. Yeah, so great. Really nice here. Okay. So I think this is a pretty good pose to get into the groin to open the heart. So we're going to come forward and come center. So you're doing a wide-legged standing forward fold. And just bring your block with you so you've got it for the other side when we get there. And this time we're going to turn the right toes out. Yep. And you can bring your block up to your right foot. And you're going to drop the right sit bone, open the left hip, open the heart, then the arm floats up. Okay. Both legs are straight. What a difference on the two sides in this pose. Yeah, you find that too? Good, I'm glad it's not just me. It's like, who is this person on the right side? I identify much more with the left-sided triangle person. Okay, and then we're gonna lift and reach out of that. Good. Okay, we're gonna work with Nadarajasana pose a bit today, dancer pose. We're not really coming at it as a balancing posture today to work on balance, so feel totally free to use a wall or a chair, a stable chair or something to hold on to, because I want to focus on it more today as a hip opener and a little bit of a back bend, okay? So feel free to use the wall if you want. So we're going to let's start standing on the right foot. We'll bend the left knee up, and you're gonna hold on to the left ankle. And I want you to just spend a few breaths lining up both knees so that the left knee is pointing straight down, the pelvis is neutral. Great. And then I'm going to turn sideways so you can see this action. There's two versions of this pose. There's one where you tip forward, and there's one where you stay more upright. And we're going to do the upright version. So what you're going to do now is start to move the heel away from the buttocks. And you can see that that's going to pull my arm back. And you can probably see too that that's starting to create a back bend and open in my chest a little bit more. Okay, and then we'll slowly release. Focus. Good, and we'll do that on the other side. Okay. Nothing like doing this on the camera, right? The pressure mounts, right? Yeah. Okay, nothing like balancing postures on film. Okay, ready? Other side. So you're going to stand on your left leg, bend your right knee. Yeah, and just take a few breaths to level out hip bone, pubic bone. Tailbone drops back is long, lining up the two knees. Okay, so you can float the other arm up or hold onto the wall, and you're going to breathe in. And you're going to breathe out and just start to move that heel away. Stay upright and feel how that pulls the arm back and pulls the upper body into a back bend. And the key here is to focus on something that's not moving. All right, so from here you need to find a space on the wall. If you don't have some wall space, you can always do this down dog on the forearms, but we're going to do down dog on the forearms against the wall. So find yourself some space. All right, so we're going to put our forearms on the wall and elbows on the wall, and you want your arms to be parallel here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to walk back. And we want it to be so that the elbows are in line with the back. It's like you're doing a down dog against the wall on the forearms. That's it. Fabulous. So good. Okay, so now the thing that you want to be working with, which is so fun, is keeping the elbows in. Yeah, and then rolling the in. Yeah, so this is so normal. So you want to roll the insides of the arms towards the wall, yeah. And it's just, this is such great prep for those arm balancing postures. And it's one of those poses where the modification, like if you were to do this on the ground, it's actually easier than doing it against the wall. It's a pretty intense stretch here on the wall. Yeah, you girls feeling it? Yeah. So then what you're going to do is just walk a little bit to the side. Yeah, and keep the elbows on the wall. So, and it's just a really small movement because you'll see it doesn't take much and you're there. Yeah. Great. And then the other side. Yep. Great. Keep those elbows on the wall. So good. Okay, and then slowly up. Good. We forgot to, we did do cow's face twice. Yeah. Okay, good. Great. All right, so from here, yeah, right? Right in the back and armpits. Great pose to release the shoulders. All right, let's come down onto our bellies. We're gonna work with bow pose, which is basically Nadarajasana on your belly. So we're gonna work with half bow to begin, and then we'll start working with full bow. So if you want to just rest on the floor and take a little bit of time to settle the front of the pelvis into the ground, feeling the hip bone, and the pubic bone on the ground, and then also taking a few breaths. And as you breathe out, drawing the belly up and hollowing and lifting up through the pelvic floor. So you'll feel those locks happening naturally in the body, just with the natural process of the breath. There's that lifting up of the pelvic floor and hollowing out of the belly. So that's going to create some strength and stability through the pelvis and the low back to be able to come into this pose. So from here, you're going to keep that connection through the front of the pelvis and the ground and bend the right knee in. You're going to reach around and hold on to the right ankle or foot, whatever you can reach. And if you can't reach either, you can hook a strap around your leg. And from here, we're going to inhale. You're going to exhale, start to pull the heel away from the buttocks, and it's that pulling that's going to draw the arm back and in turn lift the chest up off the ground. Yeah, and I like how Catherine's doing it on her forearm too. It's a nice way to do that as well. Yeah, great. So a nice heart opener here. Also a great stretch for the front of the hip too. And you just want to make sure in any back bend that you're staying nice and long through the low back. So that's really nice. There's not shortening in the low back. And Carol's looks really good too. Okay, and then you're going to slowly lower down and wiggle the hips from side to side, just to release the low back a bit. Okay, and then you'll start to bend the left knee in and hold on to the left ankle or foot, whatever you can reach. And you're going to start to pull that left heel away, and that's going to lift the upper body. Yeah, and really open the chest. Very nice. Great. Great. And then slowly lower down. And let's take a little break in child's pose just to stretch out the low back. And then we're going to do the bow pose again. Okay. And you can stay with one leg or you can go to two legs. And if you're going to stay with one leg, I would encourage you to do the side that was tighter again. Okay, so that's how we're going to do this today. So you can come down on your belly again. And you're going to settle the front of the pelvis into the ground so that you're rooted. And bending both knees in. You're going to reach around and hold on to the ankles or the feet. And reconnect with the pubic bone to the ground. We're going to breathe in here, breathe out, and it's that action here you can see as I pull my heels away from my buttocks. That's what's going to lift the upper body. Okay, great. Nicely done. Very good. And staying long through the low back. And Carol's got great form in this pose. A lot of times people's knees really splay in this pose. And she's doing such a great job of keeping them in. How does that feel down there? Okay. It looks good, but it feels tight. But maybe you're just strong. Yeah, okay. Okay. Just make sure your low back likes it too, right? Because over time. Okay, so slowly release. And then you're going to push up and back into child's pose. Yeah, so it's good. It's tight anyway. I didn't know because I hadn't felt it before. Okay. So we're going to actually come back into Pigeon because I wanted to do this before and I forgot, but it's going to be a nice transition into what we're doing next. So let's just take our right leg through for Pigeon. And we'll do the upright version. Okay. And then what you're going to do is take your left leg around, and bring it in front. So the left foot's going to go on the ground. Right. So the left foot's going to cross over the right leg. Get left foot on the ground, even though it's on the right side, and left buttocks on the ground. And you're going to lengthen the spine up. Okay. And then you're going to wrap the right arm around the left leg and take the left hand down to the base of the spine to lengthen the spine up. And then we're going to come back center, and you're going to cross that left leg all the way over the right leg. So for cow's face. Okay. So the knees are going to stack, and you're on the outside edges of the feet. So this is not possible for everybody. I've seen you could sit up on a block on this one, or it'd probably be better just to grab that blanket and do it that way. This is... Yeah, so actually, here, take it out, and then I'll get yourself back in. And we'll tuck it right under here. Yeah, just on that side more. Yeah, great. Okay, so Tim wants me to turn. Okay, this is this pose. There we go. All right. So, this one, the knees stack, and the legs cross. Have any of you ever seen Guru Ganesha sing in concert? No? He's a part of Spirit Voyage music, and he does a lot of Snatamkar's music, and he plays the guitar, and he sits the entire concert like this, in cow's face. And all I could think, wow, he can sit for a 3-hour concert that way. That's crazy. But then the other thing that was going through my mind was he didn't switch sides the entire time too, right? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to do cow's face arms here too. So we're going to take the left arm, internally rotate it, bring it up the back, and then take the right arm up and over. And you may need your straps here. This is very challenging seated for sure. Okay, and then let's release. And let's release the legs and shake them out. Good. And I feel like that whole little pigeon into Matsyendrasana, cow's face, ended up to be more like a party trick than something that was so useful here. So we're not going to do it on the other side. It worked. I forgot to use it earlier. It works earlier in the class. It doesn't work here. Okay, so sit, face the camera. There we go. Let's slide the right leg in. We're going to cross the right leg over the left leg. So both right hip and right foot's on the ground. And the other thing is here, this might be where you stay in this pose. It might not be possible to bring the left heel up to the right buttocks, okay? So here's the option, is to bend the bottom leg or to keep it long. You do what's right for you. You want to make sure everything's on the ground. Hip, foot. If this starts to happen to come into this, then it's not, you stay with the bottom leg long, okay? Let's wrap the left arm around the right leg. Sit up nice and tall. Rotate. And twists are great too for the immune system, because a lot of the lymph nodes are throughout the digestive tract as well. So this stimulates the digestive system and therefore the lymph nodes there. Okay, and then you're going to come back center. You're going to cross that right leg all the way over the left leg. Okay, both buttocks are sitting down, and if they're not, then you're just going to fill the space. Nothing wrong with you. The ground's just not high enough. Okay. And you know what? This is like totally not possible for everybody. So, last night in class, there were quite a few people doing it with the bottom leg long, which is totally fine too. Okay, so you see what works for you, and then we're going to take the right arm, we're going to internally rotate it, and we are no longer mirroring you may have noticed. Bring it up the back, and the left arm is going to come up and over. Okay, and then slowly release. Great, let's have a little temper tantrum with our legs and our hips. Shake them out. Okay, and then come to a comfortable seated position for you. That's cross-legged. Great. If you need to prop yourself up on a block or a blanket, that's great too. We're going to finish with a mudra for the immune system called the Lunge mudra. So the way it's going to work, and if we can get a close-up of this on the hands, that would be really good too. We're going to interlace the fingers, and then you're going to have going to end up happening is you're going to have one thumb that's on top. That's the thumb that's going to connect with the index finger of the same hand. Okay? And then you'll see you have one thumb inside the circle. That thumb's going to stand up. Okay? And then all you're going to do is circle that thumb around the thumb and the index finger. Okay? So once you get that all sorted, and one thing I've noticed in my class this week is that it ends up being in a strange spot because you move it so you can see it. Once you've got that all sorted, bring it into the body, relax the shoulders. And you're going to circle the thumb. So closing the eyes and taking nice deep breaths in and out through the nose. let's finish up by bringing the hands to the heart and just continuing to reflect for a moment back on your intention for your practice. And then also considering what intention from the class, what awareness you had in the class that you plan to carry with you out into your week. So remembering our intention from the beginning of the class and setting an intention to carry with us until the next time we come to the mat. And I want to thank very much again Catherine and Carol for joining us, and thank you to all of you joining us at home. We love having you here with us each week. If you have any class requests, feel free to email them to me at info@melissawest.com. And you can also check out my website. Actually, on my website at melissawest.com, I have a video yoga for immunity. I think it's called Immunity Boost Yoga, and it's a fabulous video. It's got a lot of things on it that we didn't do here today, but it's a great video for the immune system if you're looking for a little more. So thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you next week. Namaste.